Bashers on a Thursday, and I've got my wire all cuckoo because I'm back to my in-ears, and I'm only using one side because the other side keeps falling off. Hey everybody, how are you on a Thursday evening? We're starting out at 6 o'clock tonight, just to test the waters. And for everybody out there who said to me in numerous emails that you guys just don't get home in time for the show. So we'll just try it out. And oddly enough, it falls on a very auspicious day. It is Mr. Tim Wright's 3rd anniversary. So I want to give a big old shout out to the incomparable, fantastic, wonderful, all things watches, Mr. Tim Wright, for his 3 years of content, friendship, and travelogues, and all the amazing stuff that he does that we watch in the community that we love. Now, I always say I'm watch adjacent to the watch community because, I kind of fell in there because, Sheen's my BFF, and we kind of started liking watches at the same time, and he just went full tilt. And I kind of was like, I don't have that kind of money. But I remember, watching Archie, because that was what was out there. And, then Paul Thorpe and all the stuff. And then Tim Wright. And we love Timmy. We absolutely love him. And we wish him the absolute best. 3 more years, 3 more decades, 3 more millennia to Mr. Tim Wright. We love you, and congratulations. And Andrew Wolkowicz, who said, I'm working till 5:30. Well, guess what? It's after 6. It's $5 Canadian. So I hope you're here. You might be. And if so, well, we're trying it out. We're just seeing, because this is what everybody said. We do 6 o'clock on Friday nights when the big guy's here. And I figured, why not? Why don't we just try it out? I'm just, I was watching Star Trek Enterprise and hanging out on the couch with Laverne. And I was like, you know what? I'll watch another episode, and then I'll tune in to my buddies on the StreamYard. See what you guys are doing. Mark from Brooklyn. I love this. Let's just get right into the controversy. Who did the government buy the earth from? And why do we pay the government to live here? That's a very good question. We don't pay to live here. We pay for the infrastructure. We pay for the stuff, and if you live in Europe, you pay more for more stuff. You pay here for far less stuff. That's just the way it kind of works. That's the whole, 2 sides of the coin. One side wants this and one side doesn't want this, and one side wants this, but whatever. But I think that's an interesting question. Who did the government buy the other? What's going to be more interesting? What's really going to be more interesting down the line is the moon or Mars, wherever humans wind up going. Obviously, we can't own the moon and we can't own Mars, but somebody's going to think that they can, and they're going to do it. There's going to be some kind of flag. We have a flag on the moon, but so does China, and so does India now. And that's just planning of, your big cock and going, I was here. It's a stud factor that goes back from humanity 1,000 years of just stupidity and alpha bullshitism. But it'll be curious to see. It'll be Elon Musk's flag or something equally as stupid as that. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathaniel Hannon contributed $4.99 super sticker, because he could expound upon that one anytime and probably talk about all the variables for how that's going to work down the line, because he's like a precog, like from that amazing a Steven Spielberg film. He's one of those people that just like can see what's going to happen in the future and plan around it. I'm pretty sure of that. Samlet Consulting. Good afternoon, mates. Dirk Wednesdays. It's Dirk Thursdays. Today's Thursday, right? It's Thursday, January 25th, 2024. Where did you have a bender last night? Samlet Consulting. And you just don't know where you are. Well, welcome to Thursday. Everybody's favorite right-wing pundit, Tobster McDonkey, says you are seriously missing out on Deep Space Nine. It's so good. Quark is one of the best characters in Star Trek history and a black captain. Aren't you progressive? Okay, so I'm not going to bore everybody with my Star Trek nerdism, but it's a seriously crap show. I hate every aspect of it, and I'll tell you why. I don't mind the captain. They're just so boring. They're in a space station and nothing fucking happens there. Quark is, I hate all Ferengi. I hate them all. And this is the reason why I hate them. Talk about anti-Semitism. They are portrayed as like these greedy, like diamond dealery. It's such a stereotype. It's revolting. And I actually wrote a couple of things to a guy that loves Deep Space Nine. I'm not going to say who he is. He's a YouTuber, and so many people love Deep Space Nine, and it feels like a really shitty soap opera to me. Listen, I watch tons of Star Trek content. It's insane what I watch on Star Trek. I don't watch Discovery either because that's garbage. That's, affirmative action bullshit, and I want nothing to do with it. And whatever. The dog is a captain. I mean, it's just, there was no captain on that thing. There's like 5 captains and just that one Burnham bullshit crap character who I can't stand. If she was a well-written character, I would like her, but she's not. She's shit. As for Deep Space Nine, I just found the premises to be so boring. It was like a trading depot where people came and go. I felt like I was watching Pawn Stars. Not porn stars, but Pawn Stars. So I've tried Mr. McDonkey, and I just hate that show. I just think it's just blech. And I don't know why people like it. I don't get it. I hate Quark. I hate Ferengis. I hate the whole thing. I hate the way they write them. I think it's disgraceful. I think it's such a trope. I just don't dig it at all. That's my stance on that. 47 in the room. Who else is here? Mark from Brooklyn says that Tim is a legend of what? He's a legend of fucking YouTubing, my friend. He's the guy that goes and do you not watch Tim? You should watch Tim because he's funny as fuck. He's a guy from Ukraine who came here, command of the language is amazing. He knows the ins and outs of everything. He knows everything about YouTube and streaming, and goes to every single show when we can't, to take us like a bird's eye view, an insider's view for all the shows. And I think that's just great. And I just love him. He's just an adorable guy. And what's really crazy is he lives like, I don't know, 40 minutes away from me, because Brooklyn is, I don't get Brooklyn, because in Queens, all the streets are kind of like numbered, makes sense like Manhattan. You go into Brooklyn and it's like a cacophony of streets and stuff going all over the place. I don't know. Somebody else, I'm wearing Milgas, of course. Oh, Milgas. I went to the dentist yesterday to take care of that action, antibiotics. It's all good. And I was so excited to talk to my dentist, who's a huge Rolex guy. Big Rolex collector. I think he's got a couple of other watches, but he's mostly Rolex. So I was like sitting in the chair, and I dealt with the girl that does the cleaning, and then I had the x-rays, and I couldn't wait for him to come in, blah, blah, blah. He came in, he was in such a rush, and he just tapped on my watch. He goes, "Love that." And he walks out. And I went, I thought we were going to have our big male bonding sticks together Rolex thing, and it didn't happen. Nathaniel Hannon says the moon is in the Diocese of Orlando. For all you Catholics out there, and for all you non-Catholics, it's it's an inside joke. Jobster McDonkey says, yes, taxation is bullshit. We should pay almost zero in taxes. The government is the corrupt mafia. Well, you're a homesteader. You should just travel out west, plant your McDonkey flag, and get your guns and just say, bah, I mean, you know what taxes are for? They're for roads and public schools. This is what they're supposed to be about. They're for, infrastructure, bridges and overpasses and dams and sanitation and sewage and all the stuff that made Rome a great city. But of course, it doesn't go there most of the time. I was in Trader Joe's this morning, and I just went in there for one stupid thing. And I walked out with 50 things, and it was like $22.95. That store's so cheap. I'm not spruiking Trader Joe's, but there's a store down my street, and it's called the Food Cellar, and it's very upscale. And it's when my neighborhood went from being like white trash, Irish and German with their drug addict kids and whatever, and the mafia parents. When they started selling out to all the hoi polloi, we got this very, very fancy supermarket. And it's so expensive. And I'll give you a for instance. I'm Irish. I like my Kerrygold butter. Kerrygold butter costs $8 there. It costs about $6.99 everywhere. But in Trader Joe's, it's $3.49. So I go there. I go to the other place for fancy things when I need fancy things. But yeah, so they turned this neighborhood into that. So I like to go to Trader Joe's. So this girl, I had too much coffee. I took my Laverne nap at I put on Deep Space Nine and I fell asleep. Gotcha. I took one of those. I took one. I didn't take anything. I had one of those chocolates that Dana gave me. She sent me a box of this chocolate plus caffeine, and I'm just snorting rails of this chocolate, doing 8 balls off of a hooker's boobs. It's just the craziest thing. It's a little square of chocolate that gets you so hyper, and it's amazing because I love that shit. So this girl at the store, she said, "What's it like outside today?" And I went, "Oh, it's really, really warm because it was 50, 60 degrees today. It was really, really nice. I didn't wear a hat, so I don't have hat head today. I usually have hat head." And she goes, "I'm so sick of the streets being all white because it just snowed." And I went, "Oh, well, the snow is almost gone." She goes, "No, the streets they're turning white. I don't know what's going on here. Like there's like this white film all over the streets." And I'm like, well, they salted the roads because, when it snows, the taxes that we pay for the sanitation department to put salt. Oh, you get where I'm going here? They salted the roads, and, there's that salty film that's all over the street. And she goes, "What do you mean salt?" And I said, "Well, they put salt on these big trucks come in, in the middle of the night when it's snowing, and they salt the streets to melt the ice." She goes, "How does salt melt ice?" I said, "You have a really nice day." And I walked out because I just thought that was a crazy town. Mark from Brooklyn says, "Japan's precision moon lander has hit its target, but it appears to be upside down." Oh, Japan. Japan does so many things right and so many things wrong. It's amazing. You got this. It's overcrowded, but it's really clean. They're really smart, but they'll bang into you with their car. It's unbelievable how there's no peripheral what is spatiality there at all. Has anybody ever been to Japan? They have absolutely everybody bangs into you. It's no personal space whatsoever. You have some of the brightest minds in the entire world and some of the greatest, coolest architecture, some of the sickest electronics. Used to be American ingenuity, and then Japan copies it. Well, that's what China does now, but Japan is very innovative when it comes to stuff. Some of their electronics are amazing. We've got, great Seiko watches and stuff like that come out of there, and great musical instruments that are made in Japan. The stuff in China is kind of crap. I have a Chinese Gibson. It's called a Les Paul, and it's beautifully made, except the electronics are all shit in it. And I did some work on it, but to be honest with you, it's just too daunting. And I've got other guitars, so I don't give a shit. And what was my point? Oh, Japan. Oh, yeah. They'll get it together eventually. I don't know. I think it's political infighting. I don't know. And let's not forget, we set them back, I don't know, 40 years by a little boy, et cetera, et cetera. Who saw Oppenheimer? Oh, the Oscars came out. Let's talk about that in a second. But Aiden LaRue says, "Have you seen the show For All Mankind about space, the moon, and lots of watches, all the megas?" I watched the first season of it, and then I kind of lost track of it. It was starring that guy that was in the House of Cards, where he was the senator, the up and coming hot senator that everybody. Yeah, it's all Speedmasters. It's amazing. Yeah, I gotta pick that back up. Thanks for reminding me about that. But I saw that Elon's already got about 5,000 satellites. So yeah, I mean, you guys have seen Wally, right? And what the Earth looks like. It really does look like that. It's not. There's all this shit floating around. It's just unbelievable. Um, Topster says you're wrong. The Ferengi are hilarious, and it's not some anti-Jewish thing. I don't know about that. I had this very deep conversation with a couple of my Jewish pals, and they felt it was very stereotypical and kind of getting away from the censors. And I'm not trying to start some kind of anti-Semitic Star Trek suspicion. However, because I think the Jacquementans who wrote that, I think that they're Jewish, so maybe they were just enjoying the I just don't. I may notice I don't like merchants. I don't like the whole thing with the cheap merchants and people trying to scam you. And there's he's like he's the bartender. I don't know. It's never gonna happen, man. I've tried because I'm a Star Trek freak and I can't stand that show. Can't stand it. I love Enterprise and you probably hate it, and I love it. You know why? Because it has every. It's like a moral. Every single episode is a moral to the story, and it's great. Really beautiful. Greek four. $5. Star Trek Strange New World is great. Oh my God. It's the greatest thing to happen to Star Trek since Star Trek. You know, after the disgrace that is Discovery and that absolute asshole whose name I will never mention, who ruined Kevin Spacey's career because he's a gay dude and he flirted with him. He didn't even flirt with him. He's drunk. That guy's a piece of shit. And he single-handedly started the domino effect on Kevin Spacey. By the way, Kevin Spacey just turns out he's a handsy old queen, and that's about it. You know, you just smack him. Get off me, Mr. Spacey. You're a man. He's a 14-year-old boy. He was alone in his apartment. It was a studio apartment. He lied about everything. It came out in court. But anyway, it stars that guy. He's the doctor. He's from Rent. December 24th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's the guy that opens up the show Rent. And I know because I was up for the role of Roger in that show. And I had like a trillion callbacks. And not for that role, for the other guy, for the cool rocker guy. One song, glory, one song before I go, glory, one song to leave behind. That was my guy. Anyway, they liked me, but then they didn't like me because I didn't get it. They kept me around forever and ever and ever. Anybody who's seen Rent. And Rent started the whole thing with this kind of new musical thing where everybody oversings. The problem with Rent was, man, I'm digressing a lot because of this chocolate that Dana gave me, and I'm really crazy. I'm talking like 50 miles a minute. What happened was, when Rent came out, it revolutionized Broadway. It was rock. It was young. It was fresh. Everyone has AIDS, 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 AIDS. And every show after that, everybody started over singing. And, it used to be, The King and I and The Sound of Music and Sondheim. And now everybody's over pronouncing their R's and singing like this. Wicked. That ruined everything. Sorry, Dana. I know you love that show, but it's your demographic. Thank you, Dana, for showing up last night and being a treat. I got so many emails about how much you all love Dana as much as I love Dana, but that's not possible because I really love her. Anyway, where was I? Rent, blah, 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 Broadway. I don't remember. Who knows? Soundlet Consulting. Tim's a legend. Chelina, whose name is Selena. I just say Chelina because io parlo l'italiano, and I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to speak Italian with Paul all the time and get my pronunciations correct. So I just see that, and it looks like Chelina. It's Selena, but she's not here tonight. And she wrote me, and I said, I'm going to give you a shout out. So a shout out to you, Selena. We miss you, and thank you for the heads up. I really appreciate that. Boysuds, taxes are for war. Yeah, well, part of the war machine, the war chest, right? And contributions. Let's not forget. I mean, how much do you think Tobster McDunkey has in his war chest for the next big one? A lot, right? There's never going to be another war because foreigners are just buying all the real estate. And why drop bombs when you can own the land? Now, as I say, growing up a bleeding heart, I have been a registered Republican when Giuliani was. That was my first voting, my first foray into the voting world. Because the city was shitty, and I wanted him to clean it up, and he really did. And then he went crazy, blah blah blah. So I was a registered Republican for a while, and then of course I'm a bleeding heart liberal. So I didn't do that. Later on, switched over. Now I'm a registered independent, and I vote on both sides of the aisle. And I try to pick the least crazy people that I can because I don't like crazy people. And where was I going with this thought? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't remember. War. So they're just buying up the country, and then eventually they'll just say, "You all get out." And I say this all the time. Before I get to you, Mark in Brooklyn, this is not an extreme opinion, but this is an opinion of many, and I don't want to turn my show into a political rant because I like to talk about music and what you're thinking and what watches you're wearing. And hey, man, you guys got to send me some wrist shots because you know what? I only have like 4. I only have like 4. Send me some wrist shots. When you are Paris and you have this incredible culture, this incredible language, art, music, literature, I mean, the architecture, Haussmann, I mean, just the most beautiful city. Paris is the most beautiful city. It's inarguable. It's the most beautiful city in the world. And if you've never been there, please go there. Go there with somebody you love first or somebody you're sneaking around with because that would be really fun, right? Like I'm going on a business trip. I'm going camping with the boys, or I'm going wine country with the girls. Because when you're madly, passionately in love, and all you want to do is eat, drink wine, and have sex, you should be in Paris. That country's getting eaten up by foreign cultures that have no interest in the Champs-Élysées, the Arc de Triomphe, or Le Tour Eiffel, or Le Louvre. They don't care that, and that will eventually get the fucking that'll be gone, but everything will be gone eventually because everything turns over. But they're serious. You think we have problems? They have problems. It's like last time I toured in Greece. I played in Greece. I remember everybody saying the economy was so shitty and the immigration thing was so blah blah blah. But I went there and I saw Greeks everywhere, eating, drinking, dining, patriotic, enjoying Greece, loving the culture, pushing the culture on people who moved in there, people assimilating. So whatever people thought that they were doing wrong, they weren't. So I had the most amazing Athenian experience with the people there. I thought they were absolutely incredible. I loved every single second of it. Paris is in trouble. Claude says, if Italy doesn't pan out, you're moving to Brooklyn. I can never be a Brooklyn guy. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Angelo Minicello, Breguet Thursday, wearing mine today. Did you send me a picture? Let me look at my email. Did you send me a picture? No, I don't have any pictures. I have very few pictures from people for their watches on Thursday. Nobody wants to see their watches. I don't know. Topster, the federal government spent $455 billion in 2023 in importing illegal aliens, giving them food, housing, phones, fights, and a lot of good roads. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think it all depends on the news outlet by which you procure your information. I doubt it. I don't think we literally do that. I think it happens and we have to deal with it, but I don't think that there's like people doing it. Oh, I just heard an email come in. Who's it from? Oh, it's from my dear friend Ian Goulding, and it's a picture. Ian. Okay, so everybody's favorite collector with that incredible bottle of Latour. USD are just notes. It says that right on the bills. Don't get me started. US dollars are just notes. It's true. Very true. This is going to be terrible. I'm going to have to worry about this. Mark, Jews were kicked out of all countries all over Europe for a long time. Any trade that will allow them to quickly gather wealth and easily transfer it was ideal. Time and Rolex fit the bill perfectly. Well, Oshin and I just discussed this the other day. As you all probably know, neither of us are a very big fan of the state of Israel. It has nothing to do with Jews or Judaism or Jewish people. It has to do with the business of Israel. definitely has the right to exist. Palestine does this too. I just think Netanyahu is a very bad guy, and the IDF and all that shit's very bad people. Jews have been persecuted all of the years because people are jealous of them because of their ability to create businesses, to administrate, to do a lot of. They have a great talent innately to make things work and operate, and people who are lazy got jealous of them. And wow, Thursdays is getting dark, right? We should be talking about Kiss or Iron Maiden or Barbra Streisand. That's my opinion because I grew up in New York, surrounded by Jewish folks, and each and every single one of. I don't know any Jewish losers. I don't. I know tons of Irish losers, Irish drunks. But all of my Jewish friends are all incredibly successful, motivated, educated people who get the job done and don't really want people to bother them, which is great because we don't want Tobster. You don't want anybody bothering you, right? Plant your flag in your homestead and do your thing and pay less taxes. Um, blah blah blah. But Mark, yeah, they were kicked out for everywhere, and it's just it's a jealousy thing. People, it's like a Real Housewives. They always hate the girl with the biggest boobs or the prettiest, the youngest girl. They always hate the one that gets the most men or stuff like that. Like Jewish girls are hot and Jewish guys, for the most part, aren't. Like, who's the hottest Jewish guy in the whole wide world? I don't know. Zac Efron. Then I found that he's not Jewish. James Caan, hottest Jewish guy ever. How about that? I'm going to say that. Stamp. Why is there no SG behind you? Let's get off that topic because I don't like it. Because I like to keep my meter in the center. I had the opportunity to have a 1966 SG for almost nothing, and I couldn't do it because the guy had no idea what it was worth. And I might have told the story on a long time ago episode. He owned the local pet store that I frequented, and I told him how much it was worth. I couldn't do it. I'm not a Ferengi, man. I'm not a Ferengi. I'm not gonna lowball you on the price because it's not worth that kind of money. And like Emmett, Sheen's brother, amazing guitar player. I have too many guitars for a singer anyway. Why do I have so many guitars? I just love them. I don't have them. They're so thin. I don't know. I've played them. They play weird for me. What I would really, really like, if I was to get another guitar, I would get a Gibson Explorer. I really want one of the 90 ones, the Matthias Jabs from the Scorpions ones. One of the one pickup with the Floyd Rose on it with the narrow body. I love those. I would love one. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday's birthday girl. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday, Carolyn Martin. Happy birthday to you yesterday. I was going to call you after work, and then I had a kerfuffle with my neighbor who's an old lady, and I had to help her out. So I didn't forget you. I was just helping out an old lady who was confused. We love you, Carolyn Martin. And did you get your soda bread? Tell me. At least if you got, I hope you got it yesterday on your birthday. That would be great because I haven't checked the tracking today because I hate the post office. And I will call you after the show today to tell you how annoying. Yesterday, I don't know if you were around. Yesterday, you were. It was your birthday. What? I'm looking like Steve Garvey. I'm gonna wear sleeves, man. The tracking, the Seiko has been stuck in the Parcel Force. It's the new Star Wars edition, Parcel Force. And then I finally had to call the UK. I can only imagine. I was on the railroad going to the dentist, and I got them, and they're like, "Well, for your inquiry, all parcels from abroad come to London and are sent to Coventry for further examination before they're sent on the route to their final destination." So the girl in the post office, she's like, "I don't know, man. They sending that back home. You're gonna lose out on that because it costs a shitload of money to send stuff to Europe, like especially a box. When you send CDs and albums, which is what I do mostly when I go to the post office for hitman people that are I'm signing records for or whatever I'm doing. There's a thing called media mail, and you stick it in an envelope, and it costs nothing. For some crazy reason, the post office has a special deal on media, CDs, DVDs. Boop, goodbye. It's really cheap. It's a little slower, but not that slow. I'm home. Let's back. Andrew, you're here. And here's your $5 since you didn't get it. Why do you take so long? I started the show at 6 o'clock. It's half over. What happened? It gets better each season. Strange New Worlds. We were talking about that. And Strange New World. I love that show, especially after the debacle that was Star Trek Discovery. I'll put a pin in it. Oh my God, Strange New Worlds. It's like Gene Roddenberry wrote it. It's so Star Trek. It's so great. That's a great show. And also it looks amazing. It's expensive. You know what? This is my final thing for you, my Topster, my chickadee. Whenever I see Deep Space Nine, it looks like, they made TNG, the Next Generation. And then they were like, this is really successful. Let's make another show, but we don't really have any money. So Days of Our Lives, the soap opera, is in the next soundstage. So why don't we just space out all of the sets there? The whole thing looks like a soap opera set, and I hate the way it's shot too. And I'm assuming it is shot on some kind of non-film. I don't think it's like Panavision. Whereas here's the other thing. If you watch Enterprise, it's 16:9 and it's shot in high def. It looks great. Mark from Brooklyn. GSS sells about 90% of De Beers rough diamonds after the death of Rhodes. A German Jew, Ernest Oppenheimer, took over the ownership of De Beers. Any relationship to Oppenheimer, the guy that invented the bomb that killed everybody? Let's not go down that route, but it's probably true. De Beers is like, as anybody doesn't know, De Beers owns all of the diamonds in the world. All the diamonds in the world go through De Beers. Samlet Consulting. Love the haircut, brother. Thanks. I usually have a hat on or I have headphones on, but I got a haircut last week. Apple TV, where actors' careers go to die. You are talking about For All Mankind. I don't know, man. I absolutely love the morning show. Is that just the gossipy queen in me that I just love watching Jennifer Aniston make out with John Hamm? Because, like, could two people be hotter and sexier? She's like in her 50s and she's redunculous. She did her first nude scene and she looked like she was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Enterprise was awesome. Thank you, Andrew. It's great. Watch Cogenitor. Watch that episode. I know the name of every episode because I'm obsessed with it. Carolyn Martin, Enterprise. Carolyn Martin. Oh my God. I mean, there's an episode where there's a third gender. This is in 2000. There's an episode, probably it was 2001. There's an episode where they meet these aliens and they're way more technologically advanced. They have a ship that can go into the corona of a star, and they teach Captain Archer on how to do it. And Trip meets this couple, and they have this person living with them, and he's like, what's her name? And like, it's not a her. We're like, well, it doesn't have a gender. It's the third gender. It turns out they have one gender for this race that is only there to complete the procreation cycle. So the female and the male of the species cannot conceive without, they don't explain how it works. But I'm assuming maybe they carry it. I don't know. But it's a very androgynous-y looking woman. She's a woman. And I hate when I say woman now, because every time I say woman, I think of that guy that thinks I look like Matt Walsh, and he's always saying, what is a woman? Here, Matt Walsh. A woman is something that you probably were born as and one that you can't get for realsies, because he's a dick. So there's this episode, and Trip feels bad because they don't educate them. They just treat them as like a thing, but turns out that he goes to Dr. Phlox and they find out that they're just as intelligent as it's amazing. Cogenitor, go watch that. It's really, really, really great. I love all of them except the original series and these new ones. Strange New World sucks. Oh man, what's wrong? What's wrong, Tobster? They all act like buddies. No chain of command. First name basis. The best thing is the captain's hair. He's got great hair, right? And he's a fabulous cook. He's got that great kitchen. Nah, it's a great show. He's cool as shit. He's Christopher Pike. We get more Pike. I love you, Tobster, but you're wrong. Um, Maybe I'll give it another try after I finish watching Voyager. Another one. She's my favorite captain, even though Enterprise is my favorite show. And Jean-Luc Picard was one of the most handsome creatures in the universe when I was a young boy. And I was like, oh, shit. What? Why do I think this? Fire. Janeway is my favorite captain. And it was almost Geneviève Bujold. She was almost the captain. She actually shot an entire episode and then she quit. And they were going to go with Kate Mulgrew, but they're like, let's go with this Canadian French Oscar nominee. It's going to be better. And then luckily Kate Mulgrew got it. And I've been down the road with Kate Mulgrew. Read her books, Born with Teeth. Amazing story. And then her second book, which was A Daughter's Memoir, which was about her mother's decline into dementia, which is something that I experienced. My mother didn't per se have dementia, but she had oxygen deprivation situation that kind of ruined her cognitivity. Yeah, cognitivity. That's all the coffee and chocolate that Dana made me take. Yeah, I love Voyager. I love it. Sam-led consulting. Rent is one of my favorite shows. Yeah, I mean, I know the show upside down because I was ready to jump into it, and I was like ready to go. They made me learn like everything. Then they were like, "We want you to read for Mark," and I was like, well, "I've been reading for Roger for like a year. What's happening?" And I'm not an actor. I'm a singer. I'm not an actor. But it's a musical, so I'm gay. So I could probably pull it off, and I can rock. Down, 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 down. It's easy. I would have loved to have been in that show, but what would have been really great is I'd go to my corner, I'd get on the 7 train, I'd take it 2 stops, go upstairs, go to the theater, and make $5,000 a week. That was and I was like, and I'm working for 2 hours a night. Yay! That was like the dream, and that just didn't happen. Cloud Talk says, I did not know you were an actor. I'm not an actor. I'd probably be the world's worst actor ever. But like I said, it's a musical. I'm kidding. Burke Dundee says, they will always find money for wars. Mark in Brooklyn, you want to go politics tonight. Come tomorrow night. Let's talk. Sheen will be here and we'll do the whole thing. We'll talk about diamond prices and misleading this and Supreme Court. We'll talk about all that stuff. My show's kinder, gentler. It's a gentler, kinder show. Yeah. I always felt bad for Michael Dorn, Worf. He's a very handsome man, isn't he? A big dude. All the ordeals with makeup he had to go through for every episode. He should have been paid twice as much as Picard. Isn't that amazing? That's like all the different like Neelix from Voyager, all these people that have to their job is to sit in a chair for 3 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning before they shoot, and you might not even get called till 2 p.m. and you're wearing all this prosthetic makeup. Michael Dorn's a fine actor. I don't know if you watch Shuttle Pod Show. That's a YouTube show with Connor Trenier and what's his name? Connor Trenier and I forget his real name. Anyway, it's the 2 guys from Enterprise. It's a great show. Mark Brooklyn goes, Gaza. That's the name of my new band. Gaza. I'm going to start it. The blue and red wings belong to the same bird, Black Rock name. Wow, is that the first lyric of the new Gaza band? The blue and the red wing belong to the same bird, Black Rock name. Boom, boom. I feel like I'm in like a special secret society right now. Okay, so I must be really far back. I really am. Look at this. I am. Time to unwind. I went off. Sorry, guys. Time to unwind. Dirk, what's your favorite starter in a restaurant? Oh, well then. Let's do that. Okay. I'll tell you my favorite starter that I ever had. And that was in my favorite. Okay, this is a restaurant that I just love. It is called Chez André, and it's in Paris. and it's number 13 Rue de Malboeuf. Or is it 12? 13 or 12 or 13 Rue de Malboeuf in the 8th arrondissement. And it's just classic of Parisian bistro. There's so many like it, but this is like um we were staying up the block at the George Sank because my mother-in-law has got connections. And this was in like 2004. This was a long time ago. We were staying at the George Sank, which was beautiful. And we went down to the concierge and we were like, we want to go out to dinner. We don't want to pay $8,000 to eat in the hotel. So he goes, oh, we all go to Chez Andre. It's make a right here. Gauche, droite, blah, blah, blah. And we went there every night. And it was, you remember, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm not going to say steak tartare. It was an endive salad with these mushrooms, these unbelievable mushrooms that were sauteed in garlic and red wine and had some kind of fromage on them. And it was like endive goat cheese with these mushrooms on the top. And it was the most amazing thing ever. And I went back with Dana and I got it. And our whole dinner got ruined by these two creeps that all of a sudden it smells like a Halls Mentholyptus in this beautiful place in Paris. And when I was with Dana, we stayed next door to the George Sank at the Prince de Gaulle, which was a dusty old hotel in 2004. But, they called like the queer doctors and somebody came in and went, poof, it's fabulous. And we went there. And so we're staying right next door. They share a wall. And we went to there and we had the same thing. We're having this meal and we got this Nathaniel wine. Hi, Nathaniel. It's actually a Baron Philippe de Rothschild wine. I don't know. It's like maybe like 5th or 6th growth, but it's delicious and it's cheap. It was like €30 a bottle. And all of a sudden the whole place smells like mentholyptus. And it's these Americans sitting in the middle of the restaurant and they're putting on essential oils on their hands and on their like. And Dana walks up there and she goes, I just want to let you know that you're in a Parisian restaurant and it's a good, everybody comes here for the gastronomy and the ambiance and you just ruined it for 400 people. And they're like, but we're into wellness. We didn't mean to. Yeah. Danny Gutierrez, $2 US. Like this HR better Dirkus. I don't know what that means. HR. What does that mean? Like this. Paul Newman was Jewish and widely considered to have been hot. Yeah, he was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, sure he was. I'm saying who I thought was hot. He was beautiful, for sure. I mean, he was so beautiful. Sam Led Consulting. Harrison Ford is Jewish. His mother was Jewish, so he's 100% Jewish. Let's remember, if your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish. That's very true. I have a couple of friends who married into Judaism, and it turns out that doesn't really work. They have to deny you a bunch of times, which is great because they don't want you in there. But it's like if you have kids and you're the girl and you converted, it's like technically your kids aren't Jewish. Whatever. Those are the rules. Those are the rules. If you want to be in the club, okay, I'm not going to go there. Happy belated birthday, Carolyn. Happy birthday, Carolyn Martin. Soda bread arrived. Oh, good. Okay, just put it in the toaster oven or your oven or whatever you have there, and just slice it up and toast it. It comes. I cut it, because you cut it down the center. So I separated and wrapped it in 4s because it's easier to cut and it's easier to ship. Because I actually used the box you sent me. It was a perfect box. It's great. Technically, the thumbs up is a like. Yeah, because like and subscribe. That's what everybody used to say. Carolyn Martin says, thank you all for the birthday wishes. Well, yeah. Andrew Oakwich says, Carolyn, was it amazing? I bet it was. Well, she doesn't know yet. Oh, she says it was. Oh, she's had it. Oh, good. I hope you had Kerry Gold. I don't know how I could have sent you butter. So I didn't. That would have been a good idea, though, right? Yeah, it would have been great. Tobster says, I only saw a couple of episodes of Strange New Worlds. What the fuck? They're calling the captain by his first name. No. Just Rebecca Romaine does that. The other ones call him captain because she's his number one. And I think that they're former lovers, and it turns out she's not human. Watch the show. It's really, really, really great. Yeah. Easy. What's up, kiddo? Dirk, let's yap about espresso makers. Have a Breville infuser. What do you have? Have a grinder also? Nothing like smooth crema. Listen, you're going to hate me when I tell you this because the purists do. And I'm so sorry. I use an espresso machine. I'm sorry. I know. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I use an espresso machine. I use Ely coffee. I've been making my own capsules because I have the capsule maker. Because they have a really great recycling program, and I know if you grind your own coffee, of course I have a grinder, and my grinder is not really great. Um, if I had a real setup here, a real setup. I have a very small kitchen. I live in a New York style old tenement-y kind of apartment, and like, and I love to cook, and I cook every single day of my life. I'm always constantly cooking. If I always laugh when I see beautiful kitchens, and I always go, I wouldn't know what to do with all that real estate because I'm used to having like this much real estate in order to do everything. I'm just so used to submarine quarters because my apartment is really long and narrow. And the deck is the only reason why we live here for 30 some odd years because it's great. And then the witch is trying to take it away. So I don't have the space for one. So I have an espresso pixie and it broke and they just gave me a new one. They're like, oh, just take this one. They were really great. I love their recycling program. Investigated, it's real, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Eddie says the world population is only 15 million. 15 million. That's it. That's Jewish population. Isn't that incredible? And this is my big joke because I live in New York. I was like, there's only 15 million Jews in the world, and I know all of them because I live in New York City. Isn't that crazy? Well, guess the reasons for that. Scotty H, $19.99. A couple of pictures. Okay, we'll definitely do that. Angelo sent the picture too. Well, thank you so very much. She was 25 or so when she did Friends. I think she's more, I know she had a little bit of work done, but whatever she had done is not terrible. It's not terrible, maybe. Let me see. I'm sorry if I missed that. Oh, it did. Andrew Wolkowicz. I find the difference between a good meal and a great meal has more to do with the company. For me, food is second. Isn't that always the truth? I would say company and wine, which means don't go out with people who don't drink. And then the food is secondary. Like I went out, I had been friendly with Nathaniel for all this time and had never met him in person. And we shared a meal together. We had some wine and we had some very good food, but we had really great company. It was great company. And we just bitched about the food was very good. It was just the service was weird. And this was a place that I walked past every day on my way to work. And I thought, oh, it looks great because it's Middle Eastern and I love hummus and baba ganoush and all that stuff. It's very nice ambiance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, JBB says, why does the captain have to cook? Because he likes to. Yeah, they have replicators, but it's a protein resequencer. So I know that they've fucked around with replicators because it's supposed to be just a protein resequencer, but now like there's a cup of coffee and there's the actual cup too. So I know it's just gotten really stupid. Mark in Brooklyn says Masters of the Air featuring an all-star cast includes Golden Globe winning actor Austin Butler, Saltburn, Barry Keoghan, Callum Turner, Anthony Boyle, and Nikolai Kinski. Yeah, that's on Apple TV. Yeah, I have that. I gotta see. Here's a joke about Apple TV from Rufus. I really adore the series Drops of God about a family inheritance of the largest wine collection. Wine knowledge wins the inheritance. Ooh, I didn't know about that. Thank you so much. Greek Force One. The George Sank featured in the movie French Kiss. Yeah, it was a really, 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 really. It was. I mean, I've stayed in a lot of nice hotels. That was the nicest. I mean, I should say that when we came home from dinner, they were cleaning the heavily mosaiced floor with toothbrushes. Samlet Consulting. When do you and Paul plan on relocating to Italy? Well, there's a couple of things we have to take care of. We have some elderly people in our lives, and that needs to get squared away. And then whatever the outcome is with Witchy Poo across the hall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not going to be right away, but it's closer than it used to be. That's so funny. But yeah, it's closer than it used to be. So it's a reality versus fantasy, because now it's going to be no, it's not reality. It's a necessity for my sanity. Easy says that's so funny. I almost got the Nespresso as I tested a shot in Madison Avenue store. I was so impressed, but it was overpriced. I felt so. I went to Breville, which by the way partners with Nespresso. Yes. Now my machine is made by the Pixie is made by Breville. They have lots of different vendors making the machines. They do not make the machines themselves. Breville is one of the greatest companies I've ever had the pleasure of owning a product from. I have the smart oven, the compact smart oven. Actually, I don't have the compact anymore. I have the smart oven. I used to have the compact smart one, and now I have the one. But I got it in black, and it don't get the stainless. It started to fall apart, but um, they also replaced their oven after I owned it for 10 years. No questions asked. They just sent me a new one. Great company. Yeah, listen, it's the aeration, it's 18,000 psi, so you're getting yeah, it's air, but that air is getting blown through the coffee. And man, I'll tell you, when I pop in an espresso ristretto and I make one, and I just had one, I didn't because I haven't ground any of the Julius Meinl. I still have this giant bag from Michaela. This stuff is so tasty. Nothing's better than going to a bar in Italy and just saying, cafe doppio per favore, and then you just sit there and they put the hot cup, it's heated, and then they give you a shot of the the most it's like it's ristretto. It's so thick and creamy, and you see the crema going up the sides of the cup, and you just shoot it and leave, or have a chit chat with your neighbor. That's the beautiful thing about Italy. Coffee here is, so I went to the dentist and they did a deep cleaning and whatever. And then I hadn't eaten because it was, I got up at 5:45. I was on the train by 6:30. I went to Grand Central. I put the picture on Instagram. I was like, and so I had a coffee afterwards, and I went into this coffee place in Manhasset, which is a very fancy town on Long Island, which is where my dentist is. And it was $5. And I didn't even get a double espresso. I asked for an Americano because you know what? I just wanted something to take on the train. And if I just shot that there, plus I didn't want to stick around there because everybody was to-going it. So I went on the train with this, and it was not even a good cup of coffee. My French press is better, but that was terrible. Anyway. Yeah, you definitely don't hate me. It's a quality machine. It is. It makes great coffee, and the coffee's really good. But you can buy because they don't own the copyright anymore. They don't have a copyright, so it's in the public domain. So Ely, Lavazza, everybody makes them now. Davidoff. Boyud says upvote. Can you all upvote? Because we're this close to 2,000. Subscribe. If you listen, I don't know what the demographics are. I don't know what the statistics are. But if you could subscribe to the channel, because I love you guys, and I love having you here, and we're just building the channel. So every time you click on that, it just adds to the algorithm, and it really, really helps us out. Easy E, $5 super sticker. Easy E. Topes just says Captain Cisco on DS9 was an amazing cook. Yeah, you know what? They made him out to be too Renaissance-y Manny. But anyway, Sam Led Consulting, upvote. Yeah. Peter Campbell says, "Did you need anesthetic for your dental procedure?" No, they just did the numbing cream, and it was good. It was fine. Usually, Novocaine doesn't work for me, so they have to go to town on me. It doesn't really, really work for me. It's really, really shitty. So, hey, I got a lot of wrist shots. Let me pop them all open. Dun, dun. Ooh, shit! Look at this. Bruce sent me some cool pictures. I've not been in there, Bruce. I'm going to open these all up so I can. Sorry, the internet is weird today. Oh, fuck that bouquet. Wait till y'all see that. Oh, man. And a brightling in a pear tree. Okay, so did I get everybody? Let me make sure I got everybody's super chats. I got Andrew. I got Nathaniel. I got Greek Force One. Tom John One. I don't want to ever forget anybody. I got Daniel Gutierrez. Okay, Scotty H. Thank you so much, Scotty H. You're the best. Andrew, always, man. You're my wingman in the trenches. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the presentation of your homemade sex tapes, everyone. Here we go. This is beautiful. This is from MJ. Look at this beautiful Breitling Super Ocean. I love the Super Ocean. You know what? Listen, if I was going to go get a Breitling tomorrow, that's the one I want. I love the Super Ocean. I love the white dial. I love the blue dial. I love the black dial. I love it. It's a beautiful watch. I love that bezel. I love the knurling on that bezel. It's my favorite. I know everybody loves the Submariner knurling, and I don't know where my faux Mariner is, because I don't give a shit and I treat it like crap because it's my Subway. That I'm not wearing that. Well, I did the other day, but isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love the Super Ocean. And there's more pics. Oh, somebody's got a bluesy in the house. Wow. Look at that. Sheen's got one of those. Look at that. Wow. It's a Carrera, right? Yeah. It's a little blurry, but it's a Carrera. Beautiful. And here comes the Rolly. He's got his GMT Master 2. Look at that beautiful thing. Oh. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. I have two screens, so if you ever see me doing that, I'm looking over there because I get to see it bigger than you do. Thank you for that so much. See what else we got. Oh yeah, Angelo. Jesus Christ. I mean, what can you say about Breguet, man? What can you say about Breguet? What kind of camera is that I can actually see like microscopically into your hair follicles? Wow. I mean, look at that dial. I mean, listen. I mean, Breguet. Can you? Can you just? Wow, that is. I mean, absolutely insane, dude. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. And I heard something else come in too. I heard dingy ding. Everybody's getting their wrist shots in. That's fine. Let's do that. Bert Dundee. What do you got, Bert Dundee? Let me see. Where is this? Okay, here it goes. Da, da, da. What do you got here? Oh, it's funny. There's me on the camera. Oh, you got your Seiko. Hey, I love that dial too. Because orange is my favorite color. And that probably looms up like a supernova. That's really great. Fantastic. Look at the loom on that. Look at the indices on that thing. Crazy. Then what do we got? We have Scotty H with his G-Shock. I don't have one of these. I don't know if they'll suit me, but I don't know. You got a big wrist, dude. You could get a much bigger. You could wear Panerai. Look at the wrist on him. That G-Shock, and they're not small. That thing looks tiny on you. Look at that manly wrist on you. I always say to like all the boys, I'm like, you know what? I'm already gay, so it doesn't really matter. But you guys are gonna get punched in the face one day because all you're doing now this is me on the subway. I'm like, you're just checking out guys' wrists, and I hope their wrist isn't on their lap because it looks like you're being fresh. It looks like you're being Kevin Spacey, you're being handsy old queen. Oh, that's cool. I mean, yeah, these are great watches. I should get one of these. They're cool. I know everybody has one. It's funny. All the big watch people, look, all the big watch people sound like Paul Stanley from Kiss. All the big watch people, everybody has one. Yeah, they do. They're beaters. Yeah, I know. That's true. I still have the tape on the back of my clasp. I do. I still have the tape on it because I don't want to hurt it. I already have that one scratch that you guys noticed immediately. Andrew Okoch with $10 Canadian. At the end of it, we can be an inspiration in others' lives and a blessing in their memories, or we are just smoke and ash. Isn't that the truth? Be an inspiration and a blessing. Upvote everybody and subscribe. You know what? Listen, I'm a cranky old get off my lawn guy some of the time, but for the most part in gentle society, I'm a gentleman. Even though I have PTSD from certain people, I just, you know, It's just not the way to be. Thank you so much for that, for invoking that thought. Appreciate that. This is not a watch, but this is very cool. And no, I have not been here, man. This is from Bruce. This is what Andrew Cuomo did for the lovely city of New York, because he's a Queens guy. He's from Pompey Road in Holliswood, Queens, Jamaica States. Um, he touched that woman's shoulder and his career was ruined. That's when stuff goes too far. LaGuardia Airport, which was the worst airport in the universe, is now one of the most beautiful things in the world. Look at this thing. Look at this. It's everybody who's been in and out of there says it is absolutely fucking amazing. Well, that's what it used to look like. Where's that? Yeah. Look at that. And they saved those American Airlines hangars and they refurbished them and put the old logos on them, being an American Airlines family. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that beautiful presentation, my friend, because I have not been there. I've not flown out of there. I guess I should figure out a way to do that. What do we got going on from Jim Lassick? I've sent you Red Monaco twice and you haven't put it up. So here's what I'm wearing tonight. How did I not put up your Monacos? Oh, Jesus. Well, what trumps a Monaco but a Sky Dweller? Jesus Christ, Jim. I mean, isn't that... Jeez, they are. And that's the one that Chappelle was wearing on his last special. He was wearing the blue dial Sky Dweller. I mean, man, that's a crazy watch, right? Isn't that one of the craziest things ever made? It's their highest complication for sure, and it's just beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna go look for your Monacos. When did you send them? I mean, forgive me, Jim. Forgive me. How did I not do that? I don't know. And then we've got this beautiful piece from Martin. Universal Geneva, the White Shadow. This is a classic piece, right? Isn't that great? With the interesting. This is a mid 60s piece, right? Automatique. Day window, Roman numerals. Yeah, I love vintage watches. That is beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I don't want to dox anybody with that. What else do I got here? I got to check my email in a second to see what else is going on there. New wrist shot. Look at that. Oh yeah, I got that one coming up too from Matt. Look at that. Yeah, well, you got an Explorer going on there. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, two-tone. Hey, what's really funny is like you can get those because they're not popular and they're beautiful, and I think people are stupid. It's a beautiful watch. I love it. That's a beautiful watch. What a very clean shop you keep. Hopester, you looking there? He's a patriot. What a beautiful shop. My God, it's meticulous. Oh my God. I can only dream of keeping something that neat and clean. That's beautiful. Absolutely crazy. What else we got? This is loom porn from everybody's favorite wingman. This is the Zelos, right? The Great White. Am I right or wrong? That's a great white. Look at the loom on that. It's just one big disc of illumination. A little illumination, gentlemen. What's that from? Anybody know? A chandelier. I used to know that upside down because I used to cut school and see Phantom of the Opera. That's beautiful. Look at the loom on that. Holy shmoly, Batman. Green on the bezel, green on the indices, and the whole thing's like this pale blue. Quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. Thanks, Wingman. What else we got? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, look at this. Ready? I mean, Vasilios. Look at that baby. Look at that kitty baby. Looks like a little bat. When cats are kittens, they have their ears are too big, and it's so cute. Oh my god. Oh, I can't. I just can't. Funny, notice Laverne doesn't come into the stream anymore. It's so weird. I don't know what's up with that, but I mean, I don't know what she's up to. Did anybody send me more stuff? I don't know. Okay, that's all I got for watches. Andrew says, Kitty. Angelo sent 20 Canadian Canadian dollars. Thank you so much, Angelo. That brigade was fucking mental. I mean, everybody still uses their hairspring. They use so much of their technology, right? Overcoils, all that stuff. Brigade, there's a couple of brands out there that just invented stuff way back when. And, the who owns them? Richemont or Swatch Group? Who owns Brigade? It's too hard to keep listen. You can't know everything all the time. It's very hard to know who everybody's owned by. Of course, Rolex is owned by Rolex because I was telling Danny yesterday that they don't pay taxes, which I don't think is fair at all. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's like Donald Trump says, I'm smart. The reason I don't pay taxes. Sam Led Consulting, my Grail watch. Sam Led Consulting is a Breitling Navitimer 46 millimeter. Love the Milgauss, but besides that, don't like Rolex at all. I'm using the better camera today. I figured out a way to get it to, but I have a green screen, so it's going to look fucked up. Yeah, you can't. That sucks. I gotta come. You know why? My watch would look fun, but it's the green crystal. That's what happens. The crystal is actually fully green. I mean, I used to not be a Rolex guy. Obviously, I'm an Omega guy. I'm a Speedy guy. So my life is memorizing Speedmaster serials and fucking references and all that kind of stupid shit. However, I fell in love with the Milgauss early on. I said, if I was ever going to get one, and thanks to the kindness of strangers and people I love, I have one. And I mean, it's crazy that I think about it. It's like, oh shit, I actually have this. It's my favorite Rolex that they ever made. And will I ever get another Rolex? Time will tell. Will I get more Speedmasters? Definitely. Yeah, it's funny. I love that Breitling. That Breitling though, that would be on my. Oh no, ooh, Mark Brooklyn. This hurts more than all the crazy heavy duty politics. Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy owns them. That is how they're launching those watches. Okay, so that makes sense now. Oh, fuck. Because they're trying. Louis Vuitton's trying to really make a dent in the watch world. I mean, it's so oversaturated already, people. I mean, why would you want to watch? There's the ridiculous Tom Ford swatch that's $2,800. That only if I ever see anybody with wearing one of those, I will rip it off your wrist and punch you in the face. I mean, you got to be a moron to do that. I mean, my God. But look, Louis Vuitton, he's one of the richest guys in the whole wide world. Salma Hayek is married to the guy. What's his name? Henri Pinot Printemps. Or was that the guy that owns the other one? No, it's LMVH, right? Yeah. Oh no, it was Kering. Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame. That's where they're getting all their technology. They're getting it from Brigade. Angelo says Swatch. No offense to any other brands, but the best finishing I've ever seen. Yes, I have seen and handled all the usual suspects. I mean, Brigade, you're talking about, right? Yeah. The new Breitling Super Ocean is pretty cool. It's the first original diver I've seen in a while. I agree. I love that. Oh, it's not okay. Roar of the Tiger. Sorry, Brigade's on. I think Angelo was correcting himself. Swatch. Okay. Wow, I was like, oh my god, this makes all the sense. They're picking the dead bones and they're going to use them, because that's what companies do. Because if you're going to get a watch technology together and start your own vanity fashion brand, but you're going to have Brigade shit inside, I mean, that's the smart thing to do, right? That's what I mean, Swatch didn't need to buy all those watches. They own Omega. They own them. And you know what? Omega's, but thank God they own them because they would be out of business. We'd be talking about Omega as a historical brand. We would be We'd be talking about them in the past tense, as we would be talking about so many other brands that almost didn't make it out of the quartz crisis. Rolex being the exception to the rule because they came out with the oyster quartz, and then they said, "Oh shit, let's not do that." Plus, they didn't have an overlord; they didn't have to worry about that. You know, so they didn't have a landlord. Whereas all the other little companies, they just, I mean, Switzerland. These are like these are tiny little hamlets and towns with these Keebler elves making these beautiful things, and now it's all, fully machined and mechanized and computerized, and some things are done by hand, like Omegas are made by machines, but they're also, some parts of it are made by hand. So are Rolex. So are some of the other brands. But, not if you get FB Journe, not if you get, Lange Zone. Those aren't, hopefully, those are all made. I know that the 321 Moonwatch is supposed to be 100% handmade. I don't know how true that is. I'm sure somebody's not stamping the metal, but these companies saved everything. Many years ago, we were in Italy. My fabulous mother-in-law got us into the Maserati factory in Torino. So we went there and we had this like super private tour from Maserati, and it was all these giant machines building these cars. Now, the factory that we were in was making the Ghibli, the Gran Turismo, and the Quattroporte. And they were telling us about this new SUV that's coming out. And they're like, it's for the Chinese market because China loves Maserati. I was like, why would China like Maserati? It's weird. It's like, they're not great drivers. And turns out they love them because they get drivers, because there's so much wealth there, and they use the Maserati as their like limo. And it's the biggest export. Maserati was saved by China. Can you believe that? Because everybody bought them. I think Maserati's owned by, who owns it? Does Ferrari own it? Somebody crazy owns Maserati. I thought I know. Is it Tata? Maserati. Maserati. Who owns you, Maserati? Headquarters in Modena. Oh, yeah, they do make, well, headquarters in Modena. How come I was in, I thought their headquarters was in Torino. Oh, let's see. They are, Stellantis. Stellantis is a Dutch company. Oh, Stellantis is Fiat Chrysler. Duh. Thanks, Pizza. Thanks, Pizza. Pizza, as you would say. Yeah. So I think they probably moved them, right? Because Modena is, of course, the home of Ferrari. But Fiat Chrysler owns Ferrari as well, right? Should I go back to that? I should go back to that. Let's see. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm looking. I'm not trying to bore you with it, but let's see. What else do they own? Peugeot investment 6.6% on Stellantis. I don't know. Who owns Ferrari? That's also Fiat, I'm sure. Right? Oh shit, I'm going to the Fiat website, which I don't want to do. I want to go to who owns owners? Oh no. Shit. Oh, it's in Marinello. It's not in Modena. What a fucking idiot I am, right? Oh no. Look at that. Company type public. Nope. Key people, John Eichen and Piero Ferrari. Isn't that great? Subsidiaries, Scuderia Ferrari. Okay, so that's good. Ferrari is owned by itself. That's great. The Agnelli family, right? Fiat. Fix it again, Townie. That's very true. Did you guys watch that movie, Ford versus Ferrari? I thought that was good. I really enjoyed it. Angelo says Dorn, Bluth, and Zona right up there with Erlanger, all housemaid, 90%, and less than 10 people make up the whole. Isn't that crazy that that's actually a thing? That is mental. Anyway, I'm chewing into Timmy's stream. I love you guys. It's Thursday. I'm going to be back here tomorrow with the big guy for Classic Eye Bashers. I want to thank everybody in the house for showing up tonight and hanging out with me. It's always fun to come to you daily, Tuesday through Thursday, and with the big guy on Friday. We got a couple of interesting things coming up on the channel, another giveaway, and I want to just send another big kiss out to the lovely Carolyn Martin for her birthday and everybody who wished her well. And also congratulate Timmy on his stream, his 3 years into his stream. How absolutely wonderful for him, and congratulations, Timmy. So until then, just remember to hold the door open, be kind to animals, say please and thank you, and most of all, don't be a dick.
Ba 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 ba.